I messed it up a lot. I'm sorry. They kind of rushed us to be on here, and so I was kind of like, oh, I need to get ready. But anyway, you know, who do we have, Dirk? Who do we have? Let's just move on.
We have our lovely observer here with us, too.
Wonder who it is.
We can't disclose. But anyway, so jumping straight into the rig draft, we're going to see Prestini going with the FTL jump. We saw kind of a little unorthodox thing that he likes to do from yesterday, but it works out. I mean, I haven't really seen a big FTL jump play come in, but that just sort of probably deals in a line of that we need to be watching him at all times because it just happens so quick. It's like a quick blink forward, but everything looking pretty routine on the side of Elevate, coming off a rough loss against FaZe.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that. I mean, what game did it go to? Because honestly, I have no clue.
It took 4 maps. The first one was actually a forfeit. The players left the game early without the ref's call, so they didn't have permission, so they were actually handed the loss for that. Into the search and destroy, so they were actually handed it was terrible.
Terrible?
It was a 6-0 in favor of FaZe. They looked pretty slow going into it. It was 6-0 going into the FaZe. They looked pretty slow going into it. It was 6-0 going into the FaZe. They looked pretty slow going into it. It was 6-0 going into the It was basically just the attach show.
Yeah.
It was just attach. 6-0 going into the Warden. He ended up with like 36 kills. So he absolutely went off. He was just shutting down Zed, who actually had a breakout performance in the uplink as well. Tried to carry it over, but just all around they did an excellent job of just winning those crucial gunfights on throwback hardpoint as well. So like I said, it was just sort of, you see on throwback hardpoint how close of a map it is and how good the K-bars and the OSAs are actually going to be. But anyway, we're going to be jumping into Scorch. Haven't casted a Scorch hardpoint all weekend long, so I'm looking forward to it.
Should be a good match. Of course, we have this year's resides a lot because this essentially decides who is the second team to come out of this Group A. Of course, Emmy is kind of already knocked out. Very surprising to see. GoSu is currently obviously 1-1, and so is Elevate EU. Potentially, like I said, this could decide who is going to be out and taking that second spot in Group A alongside of FaZe Clan. There's a lot riding on this one, and of course, the guys over from Elevate definitely want to kind of make a storm because a lot of the EU teams have kind of risen. They've kind of done a little bit well. Orbit obviously getting knocked out. Infuse as well. Actually, Infuse actually getting knocked out by this exact team of Elevate. So there's a lot resigning from the European side. Team EU obviously likes to hold strong, and when you're talking about this technically online team, which I'm not sure if we can really call them that anymore.
Yeah, I think you can kind of disclose that after beating FaZe. I mean, you don't want to say it's just like a lucky thing because
it's weird.
It's on land.
It's weird, right? Because obviously GoSu ends up going up against Envy where they get destroyed. Massive 3-0 for them. And then we end up seeing GosuCrew go up against FaZe where they end up winning that one, I think like a game 5. So you're automatically thinking, oh, well, most likely then it's Envious who's the top team versus FaZe. Well, they play on the main stage a little bit later, and then, FaZe obviously ends up winning. So it's kind of like a back and forth type of series of events that's kind of gone on in this group. And, of course, this map number 1 is going to dictate who is going to have a little bit of an advantage. So as we get ready to hop on board here, it looks like we're looking through the eyes of Shawnee as Elevate look to try to get an early game victory.
Yeah, and you're going to see True Trophy Systems go straight down, and Cluster Grenade is going to follow that up. He's going to be using the E-Rad. This is something that the side of Elevate decides to bring out for at least the first hill. Once they can't get things going, they just kind of switch back to the K-Bar, the OSA, and stuff like that. But we're still in the eyes of Shawnee. He's going to be pulling out that E-Rad. He's going to be able to find one. Spawns are actually going to be flipped over, and now going to be going in favor of GoSu. The players from watching me is going to be Pristini and Gunless. Those guys had a great performance in every single hardpoint that we saw yesterday.
Absolutely. Of course, players looking out for the rotation. I mean, the back of the player's mind when it comes down to getting sponsors. The Elevate currently are in possession of those. It's Gunless looking every which way, just trying to make sure there is no one coming on a pinch. Well, there's Reedy, finds one, tries to find the second, but Gunless is able to shut him down. So off the first side rotations, it looks like it will be TGC with a little bit of a lead. We saw them on the opening flank. It's something that it comes down to with TGC is the fact that they're always willing to challenge absolutely everything. Constant flanks, constant pushes. If they're a one shot and there's 3 guys in front of them, they're going to push it, which can obviously be a major factor as a negative, but it can also be a positive, catch your enemies off guard. But it seems that they are currently winning the rotation and winning this game as it stands.
Yep, the big break came in there. Reedy picking up a nice 2-piece. Now they're making the opposing team spawn all the way back out in that lab side, so going to be able to get some pretty good time off of this one. Zed going to be the player inside a hill. He's going to be the OBJ type player for the team, but Drama trying to make something happen here. He picks up a 2-piece. He finds one more. He's on the hunt for the last player, and that is going to be Zed. Watson spawns right in on top of it. Throws one trophy system down, picks up another, but it will be shut down there. So a very close game as we are getting ready to rotate to the next one. 25 seconds left on this, so one more push going to be coming in from the GosuCrew before we head over to the lab hill.
Lab everyone's foresight. Of course, Zed currently inside of the hill. Drama is as well, but he ends up dropping. Something that I really like about Zed is when it came down to hyper games, Black and Black Ops 3, he was always known as a top player, without question, probably the best slang player on that roster. And you know, obviously, his roster changes kind of came about. You know, this team ended up forming up together. You know, many people obviously know a lot about Watson as well, Reedy and Shawnee. Shawnee's actually recently turned 18, had an incredible performance actually at PSX in the Elevate lineup. Didn't see a whole lot of results, but he definitely kind of went off. But Watson, a very well-known player as well. Dak and AW actually played for the DT team back in MLG World Finals as well in the regular MLG Pro League as well back on Aware too. So a lot of very well-known names when it comes down to this European team. And it's not just names that are keeping them going, but it seems that their lead is starting to increase as they've completely locked down this hangar. And it seems that those players only coming from middle and from hallway have not had any options whatsoever. And I talked about Zed being a main slayer. He's currently on a 7 streak, while Watson is 12-4 on a 5 as well.
Yeah, this is the slaying, like you said, that Zed is capable of. We saw it in the uplink. It didn't transition over to the last hardpoint that we did see against going up against FaZe, but right now he's 75 off of a Warden. Watson on a 7-kill streak as well.
Streak between the two.
We're just going to stick between both of these guys. The Warden is going to come into play right now, so now the main focus for the GosuCrew is going to be, we need to get this out of the sky, and then also you're going to see the Trinity rockets coming in from Watson as well. These streaks are still alive and well. Let's see what they're going to be able to do. Zed is finally going to be shut down, but Watson is still continuing his show of 14-4. You look at the mini-map right now, it's going to be going to the GosuCrew. One going to be pushing in through this observation deck. So let's see what they're going to be able to do. But these streaks are just halting them, just keeping them inside. Yeah,
those streaks are going to definitely pay dividend when it comes down to it. But if you're looking at the side of GosuCrew, I mean, realistically, the guys who realistically go off for players like Gunless, I mean, I know you mentioned RC as well, but Persini, to me, is a lot of the times, at least in online scrims and online tournaments, he's been the main slayer for them. And it seems in a lot of the hard points that they've lost, he has not really been able to show up. So when it comes down to this younger team, I guess you could say, you know, obviously the twin brothers of both Aristides and Pristini playing for Apotheon back at Call of the XP for the last year. They've had a decent placements, but when it comes down to it, you've got to find a little bit of momentum in some cases, but it's hard to do that when there's obviously a Warden in the air.
Yeah, we're going to watch him just to maybe think, maybe he's not getting himself into these right positions with that NV4. Like we said, it's just a gun that you need to be smart with the gunfights that you pick. In situations like this, if this player spots him first and has like an OSA or a K-bar, he's not going to win that fight. So then maybe that's just something that Aristides, he might need to switch it up. He might need to go to that K-bar, put the NV4 away, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Spawns up with that, and I think that's probably going to benefit you greatly. I think that maybe we'll start to see a lot more slaying come out of Aristides. Like you said, the NV4 can work out on this map, but just a lot of the angles that he was just picking right there, you're not going to win those engagements.
And you'll see occasionally, right? I mean, the TGC team, it's not like they're running out of you know, creativity. It's not like they're not trying to flank or anything like that. It seems that every time they go on a flank, Elevate is always there. It's almost like Elevate knows exactly what they're trying to do. Unfortunately for the TGC side, they're finally going to get a little bit of a breath of fresh air as they're starting to bring this one back slowly but surely. It's still a decent lead for the side of Elevate as they are going to be on the early rotations potentially. This is actually going to be a very big gunfight between Zed and Pristini. Pristini not checking off to his right. Zed's still going to be in the hill, not realizing that a player is just to his left. Pristini able to win that gunfight. Aristides and the boys from TGC are going to be on that rotation. But I believe Pristini is still in the back hill. He's still just waiting for that rotation to come through. Elevate's still on those early rotations, but Pristini needs to win this one. So despite the amount of time that he's holding inside of the hill, he's going to buy his team a few seconds to get on that rotation. It seems that Drama and the boys from TGC are only going to be down by about 50 points.
Yep, great break there from Elevate, and it was led by Reedy and Shawnee. Let's see what they're going to be able to do to try to hold this, making the players spawn all the way on this lab side to get the research area. So let's see what they're going to be able to do. Zed's going to pick up one kill. The Flood is going to be starting to come in now. Looks like they might try to go for a split here through Factory and then through the catwalk. He's actually going to be out of the map. He's dodging and weaving, but Drama going to get that big break. The nice two-piece coming in, but Gunless and Pristini now going to clean it up to get this last bit of scrap time. Elevate players already looking at the map. There's just a couple there pushing, maybe just try to get a quick contestation, but they are going to have the spawns going in their favor, but the rotations are coming in now from RCs and Drama. This is going to be crucial to see what these guys can do.
RC's yet again on the rotation, and when you look at the scorecard just off to your right, I mean, 4 and 17, that is absolutely unacceptable when it comes down to the amount of matches that you're playing and the amount of, you know, results that kind of come from this, I mean, are absolutely huge. I mean, whoever wins this is coming out of the group. Whoever doesn't is going down to the losers bracket. And what we know so far is there are a lot of talented teams in that losers bracket already. I mean, Optic Gaming and Envy, just to name a few.
Just to name a few, two of the biggest organizations
exactly,
that we have in
right?
Call of Duty and the losers bracket. And they were talking about it. When was the last time Optic Gaming ever got knocked down into the losers bracket?
It's been a while.
You can think off the top of your head. So
maybe back in the days when former Crimson weren't even on that team,
yeah,
like maybe Ghost or so.
It's just crazy to think of. Like, like what's happening so far here at MLG Las Vegas, but anything can happen, will happen. But the losers bracket, like you said, is pretty stacked right now. You have a lot of good teams in there, so you definitely want to try to win this one. Zed going to be the player inside of the hill. Let's see if he can get things cooking again. Was on a 4-kill streak, gets taken out. Watson is going to have the active camo ready, so just in case they need to break, he's going to be able to pop that one and get some easy kills and contestation time. Kill currently being contested. And now the GosuCrew going to try to rotate early, but this has been the story, right? We've seen the GosuCrew rotate early, but then it's just been Elevate having well-structured pushes to break this, and now same thing that we're seeing right now from Watson. He's getting ready to set up for this break, utilizing that active camo. He's going to spot one, and is he not going to be able to get the kill? Stop shooting at that player. Is he going to be able to clean it up? Nope, his teammate is going to be there for the assist. 225 to 119, and the score is rising for Elevate. Looks like they again have control of this, but the flood going to be coming in from Gosu.
I believe Racimi ends up using Zed's yell jump in that particular situation. He's able to find a kill. Zed currently inside of the hard point along with Gunless. Needs to win this gunfight. Big win for Gunless, but he ends up dropping shortly after. So the amount of stacking that Elevate is doing has been absolutely exceptional, as they only are going to need less than 20 seconds. Actually 15 at this point. Shuts down the Scarab to Zed. That's a few more score being added to his overall rig. And this is all but over, as a few consolation kills will be awarded to the side of TGC, but it doesn't really mean a whole lot at this point. I mean, only 4 seconds away. This would be an incredible comeback if they were able to make it happen, but I don't think it's likely.
And if you're Arcides, you need to step it up. I mean, just this performance, like you said, being one of the mainstays, 8-24, it's not something, it's very unorthodox from him to see. I mean, overall, he hasn't been making that many big plays, but he's just been doing enough to help his team have success. But when you have somebody going 9-25, it's definitely not going to cut it. Usually, if you see somebody with that bad of a kill-to-death ratio, they're going to be the player that's going to be inside of the hills, going along those lines. But right now, the setup they have is pretty nice, but RC's going to get double pushed there by the players from Elevate. Now the pinch is going to be coming in. Pristini going to be able to find one. Reedy is going to be able to trade out a kill there on Gunless. Kills just going down all around, but it looks like they're starting to show some life here, but it might be a little too late. 35 seconds still to go on a hill that's usually contested the majority of the time, but Zed going to push in, and it should be Elevate taking this one.
And still fighting for it, of course. Drama's still inside of the hill, but he does drop, and that should do it. So 250 to 154 will be the ending score of that Scorch hardpoint. Of course, it was really an entire Elevate show throughout that entire game. You see Reedy in the kill feed definitely getting a few there, as he ends up shutting down Drama. Like I said, 250 to 154. 2 minutes and 8 seconds there of hill time. Shawnee, the young gun, absolutely showing his stuff here in this game, number one. And to be honest, I mean, when it comes down to Elevate, I wasn't for sure how strong they were going to be when it comes down to hardpoint, but well, it is a loss, and that's obviously a major loss. I mean, they really didn't contest whatsoever in that first game. GosuCrew, that's not exactly a map or a game mode that they really prefer. I mean, they're more of a search and destroy type of uplink team, similar to, you know, past younger squads like TR and even, you know, Elevate back in the day. So with that in mind, I don't think it's necessarily as big of a loss as most people might think it is, because their next best game modes are about to come up. But yeah, like you said, 9-28 from Arcides, 11 seconds of hill time. Definitely struggled there, and I think if he even expects Gosu to even have any sign of wanting to win this next game, he has got to be showing up.
Oh yeah, definitely. So we're going to be heading on to Search and Destroy on Crusher, one of the more likable Search and Destroy maps, because there's a little bit of variety.
I like this map a lot.
It can go into both hills of variety. I mean, usually so far what we've been kind of seeing, especially on Scorch, has just been B-bomb site hits and stuff like that. So it's
kind of boring after a while, I think.
I sit here, we're like trying to cast it, but then
B-bomb site again? Oh, and again.
I feel like a wizard, because I sit there and be like, you know, they're going to send 4 players over to B. One's going to be on the flank, and 3 are going to push onto the site. The bomb is going to go down almost instantly.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just Scorch for it. Yeah. But Crusher, like I said, you have more. You can get some pretty nice plays going on, even bring out the sniper here and there, too.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if we see the sniper be brought out. I know from the Elevate side, I think Reedy tends to kind of fool around with that one a little bit, so I'm curious to see if we see some early snipes. Of course, it seems to me when it comes down to this particular map, the A site, which is kind of in that enclosed area, normally has kind of been the preferred one. It's a very, very fast-paced one. If you're going inside a connector, if you're coming into a certain part of the map, I mean, it's a very, very fast round. But if you're going over to that B site, it kind of breaks things up a little bit. You have that side wall run. The defensive team doesn't really have a whole lot to set up on. I mean, they have that back rock head glitch they can kind of be able to see a little bit. But it seems that since the A site was kind of more preferred, everyone's like, let's just try the B site out. And then eventually that kind of became the meta. So it's kind of odd now to see the A site be going to. So with that in mind, just kind of break down the map a little bit because, you know, when it comes down to it, Gosu has to win this one, and they're more of a stronger team when it comes down to this game.
I mean, the majority of the time in Search and Destroy in this game, what you're going to notice is that there's going to be one site that's going to be favored where you can actually use some strategies to go to it. Other than that, it's going to be we need 4 players to flood onto it, or we need a 4-player flood on defense sort of thing. So like I said, on this map, that the site where you're going to need to flood if you want any control is going to be A site, 100%. B site, there's a little more ways you can attack. You can hit one of the wall runs. You can just go on the right side plat and try to attack that way too. So you do tend to see a little bit more of B, but then you still don't, you can't write off A like it's not possible to actually get onto A and get a good thing going. So like I said, it's just going to take a 4-man hit, everybody flying in together, just trying to work for your trades. That's going to be the biggest thing, obviously, in Search and Destroy. But we're taking a look at the rig draft here. Structure stuff all around, nothing really changing up. The FTL jump going to be replaced with Pristini. He's going to be going with the overdrive, kind of expected.
Yeah, I think that's kind of noted. I think it's kind of a good thing to be selecting when it comes down to it. But yeah, you guys can obviously see the rigs when it comes down to it. But one thing that we were talking about earlier was when we were kind of discussing that A-side hit. I'm curious to see if that affects GosuCrew whatsoever, because like I said, in interviews they've talked about, we don't care. We're going to push everything. We're a team. You know, for one shot, we're going to challenge. Like, that's just the way that it goes. But we talked about the major slang difference in that first game. I'm curious to see if that affects GosuCrew's overall aggressiveness, because it's almost like you either want to have a slow fight or a very fast fight. And that's the thing that Elevate obviously seems to have a huge advantage in, is when it comes down to that overall slang battle, gun on gun, they seem to have a huge advantage. So I'm curious to see in those offensive pushes if we see Elevate push A more and see GosuCrew on their offensive pushes push B a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I've seen too, just kind of judging based off of from what I've seen from Elevate so far in Search and Destroy, as well as the GosuCrew. I'm going to switch off of him. I don't want a headache. I can't, when they're like constantly zooming in, I'm sitting here like trying to focus up, and I'm just like, eh. But anyway, but from the GosuCrew and Search and Destroy, they've looked pretty good. Obviously, we know these guys. If people maybe don't know them at home, they've always seen them in pro streams, playing tournaments with them, maybe matching up against them as well. Stuff along those lines too. Gave FaZe, I would say, more than a run for their money. But FaZe has been pretty weak in Search and Destroy thus far in this tournament. So we'll see how these guys do it. I think GosuCrew definitely has the upper hand over Elevate. I'm going to go ahead and say that. EU, we always kind of talk about, they have the weaker hand in Search and Destroy because they didn't have access to wagers at one point, so they were never really playing. But over the past year in Black Ops 3, we start to see a different type of Search and Destroy being played from the EU side.
I think they definitely take kind of pride in their Search and Destroy. I mean, even when it comes down to other esports, their FPSs, and those round-by-round based, you know, only one life per round, the EU definitely takes a lot of, you know, respect when it comes down to it. But of course, it's time to hop into this round number 1, Scorch S&D, and I'm already seeing the sniper being brought out from Reedy. We're getting a little bit excited here. He's going to be head and potentially watch over for his squad, as they will be on the offensive side. That thermal out. He's going to spot one player here off the start. That player is going to challenge a big win there from Reedy. That's going to be the first blood. Looking good here from Elevate off the start.
Definitely is. It looks like they're going to go for a hit straight up middle, and it's going to be Shawnee. He's actually going to be pulling out the R3K. Something I saw from Royalty, was able to get a couple kills with it in a Search and Destroy as well, so don't write it off. It was actually one of those weapons that we saw at the beginning of Infinite Warfare being used in tournaments a lot, but Watson going to pick up another kill. Gunless going to be left alone, and just like that, it's a quick 1-0 for the side of Elevate.
That was kind of an odd thing to see, because, I mean, obviously he gets the pre-run snipe. You're thinking maybe they try to, you know, get that rush over toward A, they make it happen, and it kind of seems that the GosuCrew just kind of rotated out there. It seemed that they were a little bit afraid when it came down to it. They didn't really want to aggress the side of Elevate, but that first blood from Reedy definitely kind of set up the round pretty well for him. As you can already see Watson and the boys kind of earning their rigs. That's going to be something to kind of keep in mind as well. If you start to see a very early start, a very early beginning to a dominant move, you can definitely see Elevate kind of earn those rigs early, which can obviously pay off in the later rounds.
Yep, you see all 4 arrows go to mid, just trying to get a little peek to see if they can find anybody, and now they're going to scatter. Nobody actually pushed up into A, so somebody could try to cross over there if there's nobody over by steps. The trophy system is going to go down. Pristine going to draw first blood. Drama has the go to get this bomb down. You just kind of see Pristine just kind of being by himself, causing a distraction. It looks like his teammates are going to push through, maybe try to play for the kills here. We're still going to stay in the eyes of Drama, see what he's going to be able to do. Pushing in, going towards the stairs. Going to see the dead body of one of the players. And the bomb is now going to go down on this A site while all 3 players from Elevate overextend. So just basically a quick switch of sides.
Drama easily could have planted on either side, so Elevate kind of playing around as kind of a cat and mouse chase essentially, but Watson throwing out that nade, of course.
Kobe.
No trophies. They end up using all their trophies on the opposite side, so kill starting to come in. Drama able to shut down one. Zed finds the other just before, so bomb is still down. No player on that defusal as of yet. Zed going over toward that stairs is not going to find anyone for the time being. Shot still starting to come in. Shawnee finds that one with the R3K. I haven't really seen too much of that this weekend, but he's definitely starting to prove it. Well, now you have to put it to the test. 15 more seconds left. He's going to spot one player just to his right. Needs to try to win this gunfight, but no! The 3-round burst isn't going to be able to win him that gunfight in enough time. Arshty's going to be able to escape with that round as Shawnee was seeking who he may devour, but in the end, it wasn't meant to be.
Like I said, it's just that was one of the weapons at the very beginning of Infinite Warfare that was being used a lot, and then people started to discover the MV4, the K-bar, and stuff like that. So it's interesting, like, it being used and seeing success with it, just because we never see it. It's a gun that would never work in Respawn, but in Search and Destroy, it works perfectly fine. So Shawnee still going to keep going with it. He's just going to be running the ELO, the quick draw, the stock, the particle amp, and then the foregrip as well on that one. So Watson's going to be in control of the bomb, currently tied up 1-1. Let's see what they're going to be able to do. It looks like they were trying to go for a B hit, going to quickly take a turnaround. It looks like they're going to favor A.
Oh, they just juked them out pretty bad, but it seems that I think Pristini and Gunless might be thinking, well, maybe they might be over here, but a complete clear out as they're going to set up camp and try to get this bomb down, but shots starting to come in. Watson not affected by that. Nade's out as well as he's just able to escape. As Archie's actually able to find one, but the other one is his own teammate. It's actually his own brother. Kind of awkward to say the least, but either way it is currently a 2 versus 3.
Yep, we're staying on board with RCs right now. He's coming around on the flank. He's going to have his teammate Drama sitting in the mid corridor. Let's see how they're going to be able to attack this one. He's got to spot one player to his left. Gets a little bit trigger happy. Not going to connect on anything. Zed going to take out Drama. So now RC's is left alive in a 1 versus 3. Chop's going to be tagged up, trying to fire at another player down A long. Not going to be able to get anything to go for it. This round is definitely going to be going in Elevate's favor. Kind of just stuck. Not going to be able to do much right there. So 2-1 in favor of Elevate.
And that was a really good play from the side of Elevate, because of course they try to go for that pre-round snipe, doesn't really hit, and then that kind of baits out the side of TGC, making them think, well, maybe, oh, they're going to try to go in the rotation. Why is reading that particular situation or that particular position? And of course, when it was a delayed hit, it kind of worked out in their favor. So TGC trying to, in some ways, counteract what Elevate was trying to do, but unfortunately, it ends up in their own demise. As Elevate currently up 2-1. As far as this particular game is considered, as it will be TGC on the offensive side. It seems that the boys from Elevate thinking that a B hit is going to happen, and unfortunately they are going to guess wrong. It will be a free plant for the side of TGC, and Drama is not convinced. He's thinking, nope, that they've got to be around here somewhere, but fortunately that's not going to be the case, as it looks like they're going to play a little game of Ring Around the Rosie, potentially. Some gunfights potentially could go down through middle as Pristini's looking, but not going to spot anyone. So a free bomb site in back-to-back rounds, but defusal is not exactly what TGC wants. They want to get the kills.
It's like identical to what we saw last game. It's sort of like a mind game from Elevate, right? How often do you see just everybody completely giving up the A site, just always rotating through, but kills are going to go down, but it's immediately going to be traded out right there. RC's going to be able to pick up one of his own, so now a 3 versus 2 situation for the boys on the GosuCrew. Zed going to be able to clean up that one to even up the man count. Pristini going to be in control of the bomb right now. I'll top on board with him, see what he's going to be able to do. Take a look at the mini-map overhead. The buddy system on both sides. See which site they're going to decide to go to. See player number 5, RC's going to be pushing up. There's going to be one player right to the left of him, and the timing is not going to go in his favor. The R3K coming in from Shawnee once again, 4-1.
Oh, they're watching each other's backs. This should be done for Pristini, but he spots one out.
Oh, no!
You gotta tag him up. You gotta tag him up, Pristini. Thank the Lord he shuts down Shawnee, but in the end, it's not going to happen. As Elevate, or realistically, TGC, that could have been really bad. That could have been awful. I'm not gonna lie, but Zed's able to clean it up, and that's gonna be 3 rounds there for Elevate.
If he would have been taken out, there would have just been like a little life lesson. Never let go of the right trigger until you see the kill pop up in the kill feed.
Yeah.
that was
Lesson
too close
learned.
for comfort. So we're going to be jumping on board here. It's going to be
Reedy. I want to see if Reedy's still sniping. I'm just curious. He is still sniping, so I guess it's worked for them in their offensive hits up to this point. We'll see if he is going to challenge. Of course, no one's going to be there for the time being, but yet again, a team has guessed wrong on the bomb site. An entire 4-man push is absolutely foiled, but in some cases, this could work out for a nice flank for TGC.
Yeah, it definitely is. And the player we're going to be watching, it's all led by Pristini. So let's see what he's going to be able to do right here. You see on the minimap once again, the bomb's going to go down.
You got to let that nade go, my friend.
Kills himself with the grenade. So now a 3 versus 4 situation. RCD's going to take out another one, lowering down the man count to 2. Pristini going to follow it up, getting one more. Reedy going to be left last alive. Is he going to be able to do anything? Nope. Stuck in a very, very sticky situation right there. Some body shots coming in. So let's see, just trying to figure out who wants to defuse the bomb, who's the closest to the streaks, and they're going to decide to give it to RCDs, who's working towards the active camo as well. And then 350 off the Scarab, make that 250.
So kind of interesting, I guess, because we've been talking about, the team choosing the wrong site. Oh, they're definitely at a disadvantage. Well, TGC's like, well, if we chose the wrong site, let's just try to flank them out. That's something that we haven't actually seen up so far into this game. So a good overall round from the GosuCrew, as they will now be on the offensive, potentially trying to line this one up at 3 apiece. Reedy saying the snipers work for me so far. Let's keep it going, but isn't able to find anyone off the start. So the offensive first blood will actually go to Watson instead, with the early rush coming in. The smoke as well, as it seems that might have been a little bit of an accident or just trying to clear it out. Persini finds one, Zed finds another, as it will be a 2 versus 3 in favor of Elevate for now.
Yep, and Drama's going to be soloing on this A-bomb right now. He's going to have his teammate slowly starting to link up with one another. See what they're going to be able to do here. Watching the central processing area. It's going to be his teammates actually going to find someone. Zed going to go ahead and pop that rewind. It's going to pay off. RC's going to be taken out, so now Drama is left alive in a 1 versus 3. See what he's going to be able to do here. He's smart to just wrap it all the way around to B. As you see the 3 arrows. We have the luxury of seeing it. Obviously he doesn't, but they're slowly starting to come, and you know what that's going to mean? It's just going to be constant. I was about to say, it's just going to push them 2 versus 1. They'll be able to get the trades.
I think he actually got really bad timing. We can actually maybe see it here in the round-ending kill cam, because I believe, yeah, he's able to spot him in the end. So kind of unfortunate timing there for Drama. The 1 versus 3 had a potential, but Zed quickly to shut that one down. So back to back, as it seems that Elevate currently up 4-2, as it seems that really, realistically at this point, I mean, you can't really give Elevate any more rounds. I mean, you can't let him get to that number 5, especially if you're not already at that number 5. So with that in mind, Elevate on the offensive. It looks like we might actually see a potential A hit off the start, but why would you snipe there, Reedy? That's not exactly the most normal strategy when it comes down to it, but you might learn for next rounds. But early first blood there coming in for the side of TGC. Offensive round, obviously, for the side of Elevate. We'll see if they decide to push this one out. Watson coming down the flank, able to shut down one. That's going to be big, but he ends up getting shut down quickly after. So still a 2 versus 3, this time, though, in favor of TGC. Zed looks to get this bomb down.
Yep, A-bomb site completely wide open. Shawnee going to be covering over top of him. And how many times have we seen just, I don't know why, for some reason in this game, we've seen so many arrows just completely going the opposite side of the map and wrap around. I believe it's happened close to almost every single round that we've seen so far. But you look at the mini-map, looking like they're trying to get a little bit of a coordinated push here. 8 and 6 working together. That's going to be Gunless and Drama, but Pristini will be taken out. So now the buddy system is in full effect. 2 versus 2, 25 seconds to work with. Let's see what they're going to be able to do here. Zed and Shawnee. They know what they're doing, get a little bit trigger happy, not going to be able to connect on anything right there. Positioning going to be given up. Shawnee going to be on the bomb site. MV4 against Osa. Osa is going to come out on top every single time. 10 seconds left. Now this is where Zed needs to try to get this bomb check. And he's going to have his teammate watching right over top of him. He's going to be able to get this defused. Shaky shots coming in. He's finally going to be able to cap it off. So Elevate going up 5-2 right there, thanks to Shawnee.
TGC cannot afford that when it comes down to it. I mean, they try to go from connector, but realistically, it was the choice of the wrong bomb site. They try to rotate coming over from the opposite one over on B. One gets sent through connector, the other one gets sent to the opposite side over towards sand. So with that in mind, I mean, it's just the fact that they're choosing the wrong side. It seems that maybe they're just getting odd timing. Maybe, I think sometimes, at least in this game so far, TGC especially, I think they're kind of overthinking things in some cases. I mean, when we saw the early rush from Reedy, I mean, he brought out the sniper, maybe TGC thinking, oh, they're going to go on the rotation because that's what we like to do. But that's not the case. They're just, Elevate's like, oh, well, this side's open. Let's take it. And they just don't seem to really be firing on all cylinders when it comes down to it. But Riggs very closely earned here. Zed already having his. Watson very close to his as well, but it seems that those might not even be in use. As it will be TGC making the offensive push, and yet again, they push out. When they have a free bomb site, they just push it out, and it doesn't really affect them too much. I mean, Zed is watching a random angle because they're thinking, oh, they're going to get this A site down, and we're going to try to retake it, when in reality, half of the freaking map has already been ran by in TGC, and they haven't even planted it down yet.
He's 275 off of a Warden and Search and Destroy. If he kept on going to later rounds and he stayed up, he'd 100% get that, and that would be absolutely ridiculous. But you know they're trying to close it out early. He did end up pinging the Scorchers, so he's going to know the positioning of the player. So let's see what Drama and Crew is going to be able to do. Watson going to be able to take out Gunless, leaving 2 left alive. The active camo going down, and the gunfight going to be won there by Drama. So now he needs to try to make something happen in 1 versus 3. He's going to be able to find one, but immediately gets shut down. Elevate going to take this Search and Destroy 6-2.
Back-to-back dominant victories for the side of Elevate. It seems the GosuCrew absolutely get thrown off in that first hard point. They start overthinking things without question in this Search and Destroy, challenging different bomb sites, kind of made me thinking that Elevate's going to do something odd, and when in reality, they were just playing standard Call of Duty. They were playing standard Search and Destroy. They weren't doing anything super strange, and maybe challenging a different site here and there. When it came down to it, I mean, like I said, I think TGC was absolutely kind of overthinking a lot of what happened in that map. Of course, Search and Destroy, kind of like a it's like a homecoming when it comes down to what Gosu likes to particularly use when it comes down to the game modes, but not able to work there. So it seems that uplink on Precinct will be our game number 3. Dirk, I got to ask you, do you think the series ends there, or do you think that GoSu potentially can force a game 4?
I think it'll be I think it's going to go to the 3-0. This GoSu team, they're not looking how they did yesterday against FaZe. I mean, obviously we know that they're capable of getting beaten badly. We saw it with the Envious matchup, and then with FaZe, they're up to take them right down to the wire too. So I'm not sure if they've played any matches today. So maybe this could be their first one.
I don't believe it is actually. I think this is their first match for today.
Yeah,
I think
so
you're right.
this could be the first one. I mean, they're playing a good team too. I mean, you can't take any credit away from Elevate.
No.
These guys are great. We saw it at PlayStation X, and we're seeing it now as well. They're coming off a rough series against FaZe Clan too, so they're trying to bounce back in a big way. But I mean, for GoSu, the hard point you lose in the Search and Destroy, the one that we thought they would be able to take, because a lot of the caliber players that they have sort of come from the Search and Destroy side of like Call of Duty. So that's just one of the things to look at. But the way I saw Elevate play uplink against FaZe was a thing of beauty.
Yeah,
they're very, very, very good. And I think the player, it was Reedy, found himself in Zed. They were kind of like rotating back and forth, but that's where Zed had his monster game, and it basically just like tried to turn the series around from a little bit. But they just find themselves in such good positions, like the perfect setup that you want for rallies, having that one person push through to the enemy base, going right onto the portal and just completely slaying out. He was doing that time and time again. So it's just those little things that I saw from them, and I think it's going to benefit them in this one. Precinct, you're capable of getting quick rallies as well. So I think Elevate takes this series. I think they close it out.
Yeah, the odds, I think, without question, are definitely stacked up against the side of TGC. I mean, you think about the fact they haven't really played a match today. They come off two games of yesterday, beating the side of FaZe in a very long round game. I think that one actually going down to Game 5 and ended up losing very, very quickly to the side of Envious in a 3-0 fashion for their first series. It seems that a lot of the time for GosuCrew, at least and from this tournament so far, it seems that they always seem to have a quick start or a slow start, but they end up kind of receiving that toward the latter parts. And I guess it's just kind of awkward timing for them, because now they're down 0-2. It's not like they won a game yet, and now they're getting ready to go up against Elevate. And past Elevate, this is their best game mode. So a lot stacked up against the TGC team, and I'm not really sure they're going to be able to bring it back. I think I agree with you. I think this is going to be a hot 3-0.
It would be awesome to see a reverse sweep happen. I'm pretty sure for the guys on GoSu would be confident. We're talking to one of their management people out there who's kind of saying that RC was getting himself down yesterday really, really bad in that Envious series, like taking blame for everything, like, oh, it's my reason we lost. And that's not what you can take blame, like, yeah, that was a big reason this happened, but if you kind of like over-exaggerate it, you're constantly saying, oh, sorry guys, it gets annoying. It's like your team, like, it's okay, move on from this. Like, it's fine, put that in the past, let's just focus on this next game. And that's where the chemistry really comes in. A lot of young guys on this team too, so you need somebody to try to step up and somebody to try to take that leadership and just say, hey, like, let's get together, it's fine, put that series behind us. Yes, you choked, get over it, or something like that. So that's just one of the things, just keeping that head right. But this would be such a big boost of confidence for the GosuCrew. And I mean, for what we've seen from this weekend, nobody expected them to beat FaZe and stuff like that. So anything is possible from what we've seen. But like we said, just coming down to the final point, Elevate definitely the team that we're favoring in this one.
Oh yeah, without question. And when we've talked in the past about which team do we kind of prefer, I mean, we were kind of thinking, well, maybe TGC comes out and maybe they try to surprise us. But when you talk about the side of TGC kind of struggling and not really be able to kind of bear themselves, it's always the question of a major attribute for professional players is the fact that you have to have a short-term memory loss. I mean, it's kind of like that last series. It doesn't matter, right? The last game, it doesn't matter. We've got to kind of be focusing and move on forward. And I think that's a very difficult attribute to kind of possess. It's a hard thing to kind of keep in mind, especially if you technically did cost your game the series. And we do talk about RCD's going, 9-28 in that first hard point. I mean, it's not just one series for him. It seems that he's kind of struggled in multiple ones. Yeah.
So, like you think, it's just a short-term memory loss. But that's the thing. Like when you have the mindset of a competitor and the heart of a competitor, you're going to sit there and you're going to think about that. No matter how much you try to block it out, it's going to get to the point where you need a couple shots to clear the mental pictures from your head so you can stop thinking about it. But obviously, they're not going to do that. But it's just one of those things that it is hard to move on from it. Like you said, you're a competitor. You're going to sit there and you're going to think about the losses and what you could have done right and what you could have done wrong. But it's just sort of turning that motivation into just like a positive. Try to keep it going. Just play better. Like, that's what you got to do. You just got to keep telling yourself, like, I'm going to do better this series. You got to have confidence. You play with confidence, you'll play better. If you sit there and you constantly think you're going to play worse, it just affects your play. This game, in a sense, too, is just a mind game.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like whatever your mindset is. So that's just what you need for the GoSu guys. I mean, you have a lot to be proud of. You lose this match, oh, well, you bounce back. You said they're going to the losers bracket, correct? So, yeah, they lose this one, they go to the losers bracket, make a run. I mean, you qualify for the pool play spot. That's something you can take away from it. But the losers bracket run is always there for you to try to go. I mean, but like we said, it is a pretty stacked open bracket.
Yeah, it's definitely a struggle down there, to say the least. I mean, there are some talented teams who are, I imagine, pretty angry that they aren't going to be qualifying necessarily for the top bracket for now, at least the winner's bracket for the time being. One of those teams actually being envious from this pool phase, already guaranteed to make it out. So if you guys are just joining us or just joining here over on the Bravo stream, like we mentioned, it's currently GosuCrew going up against the side of Elevate. Winner of this series, well, I believe most likely, and I'm not 100% sure, but I'm like almost positive that the winner of this game does end up getting out in that second position. Team who loses will be placed in the losers bracket out from each group. And like we mentioned, a lot of talented teams down in that losers bracket. I mean, I think it's been a while since we've seen both Optic Gaming and Team Envious and this team. Like, I don't know.
Can you imagine if that would have happened like last year at some point?
Oh my! This MLG Vegas has been absolutely absurd, and not in a bad way, but just like the amount of teams that you thought would do well. You know, game modes, players kind of rising to the occasion. It's just been totally different. Like. And I really don't know. Like, I think I was watching a game, I forget what it was, but it was like Allegiance who was beating Luminosity, and I was like, okay, that's kind of strange. And I turn over and like Optics getting 3-0'd by, who did they just get 3-0'd by? Oh, by Enigma 6, and then Enigma 6 just after that, like 3-0'd someone else. Like, I'm like, what is going on here? Like, what is Vegas? What is going on?
Dude, those Enigma 6 guys are no joke. I mean, I wasn't here super early in the morning, but I was here to watch their match against Orbit. They beat Orbit. They went on, and I believe they 3-0'd Rise Nation, and then now they just 3-0'd Optic Gaming. Like, you sit there and like, that's the glory of like open bracket, right? You have so many of these teams that are just trying to fight through, and you get to see. I mean, they're guys that we've known about for a while because obviously before the age rule came into play, these guys were competing in almost every event. So like we know of these guys, but like making a return in such a big way. I mean, what kind of way would you want? Like 3-0ing Rise Nation, who's had such a good tournament thus far, and then 3-0 Optic Gaming, who haven't had the greatest of tournaments so far, very under practice coming and haven't played very much. But hey, we're hopping right into this one, and we're right on board with Pristini.
Yeah, there's actually a little bit of an opening break that the Elevate side could have potentially made, but no time to talk about that. It seems that already 4 of them going down. Pristini going to be on the flank, has no idea that these players are going to be here. Him and his teammate kind of watching over. The pass comes through, and just like that, a 2-point play. Huge stuff coming in from the side of TGC is that opening break when you're spawning on China side is absolutely lethal. So with that in mind, that's not going to be happening. But it seems another push on the opposite side here from Zed. So a nice response on the overextension. Elevate does seem to soar, as early within the first 45 seconds, we already have a game tied up at 2.
And the relay is going to be coming in, so watch Zed. Like I said, he's going to be that guy who's going to be pushing into the enemy base and trying to slay him out. It is unfortunately going to be shut down by the guys from the GosuCrew. Going to go try tossing it over the building, trying to go for the 1, but that is going to go for that automatic reset. So on board with Zed once again. Let's see what he's going to be able to do here. Going to throw 1 grenade out. Another kill follows that up. It's going to be Drama being taken out, so now 2 players up for the side of GosuCrew.
Shot coming in toward middle. Zed able to win that gunfight. Player just to his left over in orange. And seems that not able to win that one. So Riddy going up through that side street, having 1 lead blocker that is going to be Zed. We talked about how talented of a slayer that he really is, but end up dropping, it seems, as Watson still looking from afar. To that side, but it seems that it's not going to go through. Elevate end up dropping 3, so potentially a defensive play turning into an offensive one as the boys from TGC start to throw that drone forward as they look to maybe to potentially rally and then get a few kills here.
Definitely Zed going to be positioned in the lobby area. He's going to spot 1, will be taken out, so now that is 2 down. They can try to make a play with this drone if they absolutely want to. It's going to be RCD's picking it up. They're going to be favoring this this garden side, going for the 1-point toss, and it's going to be Zed with the interception coming in right there. Going to be followed up with a couple kills from his teammates. So once again, it's been Elevate just putting this aggression on, not right from the get-go, because we saw the GosuCrew get the 2-point play, but ever since then, it's just been all Elevate.
That was such a smart play from Zed there. Of course, he's able to get the huge block, and he's able to reset. He realizes the player's just to his left. He's like, my teammates aren't around me. I'm just going to throw it down the middle, and let's try to get a push out of this one. And obviously, in unison, he ends up dropping, but a good overall play for the team as Watson is going to realize they have this drone in the back of their base. If they need to, they can obviously throw that one off the map if it gets a little bit too close. Instead of TGC trying to hold steady, trying to push forward, and Watson going to go on the outside. He's able to barely make it around that corner. Zed watching through his middle, and Watson might be able to escape with this one for the time being.
Definitely is. Reedy is going to be there for the support, just camping behind the corner, and that's smart communication there, just telling that there's going to be somebody coming from my back. Don't contest it. Wait for him to come to us. Now Watson getting ready to go for the 2-point play here. Is he going to be able to get it? Yes, he is, and he's going to be able to pick up the kill there too. So Elevate going up by 2 points. 4-2 is the score. Drone currently being reset. It looks like there's going to be a gunfight going down here between Zed and Drama.
Yeah, just overall veteran plays when it comes down to the elevate side. I mean, like I said, they know exactly what they're doing. Watson threw that drone back through the middle after Zed did. That they're playing the lanes correctly. They're not playing super aggressive. They realize that, hey, we're the better slaying team, but we could easily get, 2-0 comeback. I mean, this is the thing that's happened throughout this tournament. It's not out of the question. I mean, C9, I think in every series they've went down to Game 5 after our team was up 2-0, so they realize the stakes at hand. They're obviously very gracious to be out of that dash to the open bracket and to pool play, and they're trying to obviously make Team EU proud as that drone gets thrown toward their back statue. And they might actually just be playing for time right now. I like this play from them. I mean, they're not playing super aggressive. They're waiting for a teammate to get through, but Reedy ends up dropping, and that passive play could actually be their own demise. One player's there, but Watson shuts down 3. One more player alive, and Drama also falls. So what seems to be a fantastic push from TGC ends up in their own demise, and now it's going to be Elevate who are forcing their way through.
Definitely is Zed going to be in control of the drone once more. He's going to be met by 2 players trying to go for the throw over top. Going to be reset once again. So now, if you're GosuCrew, this is where you need to get aggressive, get that lobby control, and try to make something happen with the drone. Push it out through the gas side, trying to make something happen that way as well. I mean, it's just all a sense of, all uplink is just wrapping the drone, just being patient with it, following your teammates, making sure you're not trying to force anything. But that is now going to be 4 players down for the side of Elevate, and it's going to be Drama. Should be run home for a free dunk right here.
Yeah, a much needed play there coming in from TGC, as shots coming in there from Gunless, as he actually does have a gun and he's currently on a 4 spree, so a little bit of a different name there, but Zed going to toss that drone forward. I believe it's actually a little bit of a mess pass, but Zed able to recover it regardless. The rebound comes in and the dunk does as well, so nice transition coming in from the Elevate side as they say, you guys got 2 points, so we'll match it as well. So it seems that the last 20 seconds, Elevate going to have an opportunity to go for a last-second score. Drone going to be in Reedy's hands. Players to try this shot many times, but can he go for it? It seems it is going to go through, so the nice slide narrowly is able to get that one through. It easily could have hit the side of that building, but nice overall composition from the Elevate side as they're going to have a 3-point advantage after these first 5 minutes.
That was a very, very nice tight shot there to close out the half. 7-4 in favor of Team Elevate. GosuCrew putting up a pretty good fight, though. It's not as much of a ball as I thought it was going to be, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that they're fighting back. It's not that they're playing super passively. I think it's also a really good play from, or a really good strategy from the side of Elevate. There are many times where they could have pushed out of the lane, but they're saying, you know what, we don't have numbers. Let's throw the drone in our back statue. Let's play this passively, and let's just get a scoring opportunity out of it. You know, a number of different plays coming from Watson. Zed, who was on a massive spree, throws that drone out in middle. They're playing very, very well, but GosuCrew has obviously responded in their own regard. Of course, sides do switch. We'll have another 5 minutes, potentially the last 5 minutes of this entire series. TGC, at least your championship run could be out of the question. Of course, neither team being eliminated, but going to the loser's bracket is without a doubt a question. And Drama saying, we don't want to go down to that loser's bracket. We're going to hop in and get the first 2 points of this side. As the first 30 seconds already go through, and now TGC is only down by 1 point.
Yeah, they definitely are. And they had a nice little setup going there, but the 2 double push from the side of Elevate was able to shut down that little setup that they had going. But now the players from Elevate storming and charging out of their base, trying to make something happen with the drone. It's going to be positioned right outside here of Ticket. The fletch-up grenade's going to be going over to Statue. He's going to be able to find one. That is Watson. See if he can find any more. His teammate Shawnee's going to be able to pick up another. Can he find the kill on Drama? No, but Drama's going to be able to take him out. The drone still reset right in the middle of the map. It's going to be Reedy. He's going to be taking this one out, trying to go for a run. They should be able to get a 1-point toss up here. Let's see how good his aim is. Has he been practicing? No, it's actually going to go over top, and the drone is going to be sat on the ground, but his teammate's going to be right there to follow it up.
What a play from Elevate. They realize the drone is down. The player gets shot from the side. The Hornet comes to play, and then Dunk does as well, as it will be now a 3-point advantage. The shot's coming in, and Pristini can actually get this one out as well. Tosses that one through, and a big play there from Pristini. Shuts down one, gets shot down from the side, but still a good momentum play there from the side of TGC, just trying to get that drone out of their base. But in the end, it was Elevate who get that score, and they're currently up 3.
Yep, and the payloads are going to start coming in soon. The player that we need to watch, though, is going to be Pristini. He's getting very, very close to that overdrive. We know how beneficial that can be in uplink, but Zed is going to be in control of the drone. They're going to be pushing this gas side. Pristini's able to shut down one. Why would you pop the overdrive?
Kind of a frustration for us as well, but Zed, obviously realizing he's going to be in the long-range gunfight, throws that one for a few yards, and he's going to win his team a little bit of time. So, yeah, why would you rock the overdrive in this situation? You know, granted, I think he thought it was going to be a 1v1. He gets the kill, then he can kind of move forward with the drone. But it's such a risky situation because you don't know. There's no communication being uttered. But the shot comes in, and what a beautiful toss there from Reedy. The uplink is able to go through the EU teams without question. They've been practicing a few of those tosses in unison. About 2 minutes and 30 seconds left as they're going to toss that drone down here over in gas, realizing that they have the lead. They also have seems to be a huge advantage from that. Rady going to mark that overdrive. He can actually get on the overextension. There's going to be one player in his path, but he could easily get a 1-point opportunity potentially here. He just rounds the corner. If he can get through this, maybe go on the wall run, he could have a 1-point play, but he just gets shut down, and that'll be a much needed defensive play there from GosuCrew.
Yep, definitely Gunless going to be in control of the drone now, trying to make something happen. They're going to go for this full wrap around. About to reach the 2-minute mark, and the score sitting pretty good for Team Elevate, 10-6. Let's see what they're going to be able to do here. Like we said, it's just been the aggressiveness from Team Elevate, just constant pressure on the guys from Gosu, and it's getting pretty overwhelming for him. Drone just kind of being tossed back and forth. Watson going to be the last player left up, so let's see if he's just going to be able to slay out and to help his team. Drone's still going to be on this top AC area. Now this is the time where we need to see the GosuCrew start to make something happen. You just have to think, if maybe Prestini still had that overdrive, they could have a 2-point play by now.
That's a really good point to kind of bring up. I mean, maybe the rigs or the payload's kind of being wasted already, and Zed going on the wall run. He wants to, but he has to settle for a 1-point toss, and that one's going to be intercepted by Arcides. They've got to move the drone forward. Arcides, who's had a slow series up to this point, has got to make something happen, and due to the fact that he has such a low KD right now, a lot of few kills, he's not even close to earning that active camo, and probably won't be the rest of this game, but he needs to go for the 1-point toss. That's going to be, I believe, intercepted. What a huge play coming in from Elevate. The defensive plays are going to stop that one from happening, and that could be the nail in the coffin for this entire series.
The EU playing a little bit of cornerback. They're getting all these interceptions right here, and Zed has been the guy who's been doing so, just tossing the drone forward. 55 seconds left. It is still possible for the GosuCrew, but they need to get a rally going. Ball going to be tossed right into China. Zed going to be there to pick it up, trying to go for the 1-point toss. He is going to connect. He's been on point. He's got 5 tosses in this game.
Elevate are firing on all cylinders. I mean, that's just the way to bring it up. I mean, the hard point was a struggle without question for TGC, but I don't mean to kind of call someone out, but I mean, Arcides has had such a rough series of this entire thing. I mean, S&D, I don't think he played very well. Hard point, he went 9-28. In this game, he's 15-23, and honestly, he's a massive player. I mean, giving him the active camo, I mean, your active camo and your overdrive players are so important when it comes down to it, because a lot of the time, those are guaranteed 1, if not 2-point plays. So the fact that he's not even slaying to give him the active camo role, he doesn't even earn that. So in some cases, we also saw the overdrive be wasted earlier. We saw the active camo not even come into play. It seems that maybe if the rigs were kind of in use for the side of TGC, they might not even have a chance to close this one out. But unfortunately for them, that's going to be the hot 3-0 coming in from the side of Elevate, as they, and also I believe alongside of FaZe, are going to be coming out of this group A. If you're still a fan of, I believe, both Envy and TGC, no worries, because it's still going to be having to fight through that loser's bracket.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, we brought it before the game when we talked to the management of the GosuCrew. It was Arcides giving himself a hard time, and now you see again not having the strongest series. Couldn't slay in the hard point, didn't do very good in the search and destroy, couldn't do it. I mean, he got a lot more kills in uplink than he did in hard point, so that's one thing you can kind of take away from it. But like you said, the active camo player, they need to be getting a lot of these kills. They need to be doing a lot of objective work to try to make their way towards that. This is the way they build everything up completely. I mean, that's, like we said, active camo and overdrive, the 2 biggest payloads that you need to have. We saw Prestini waste the overdrive in a play just to try to win a gunfight, which wouldn't have really benefited him much, because if you saw on the minimap through that play, players are still at their goal. They were in top ticket as well, pushing in through the lobby. So